Chapter 1, The Hook, midnight to 0:45. The last wish written into that well was found folded inside a dead woman's hand. She had visited the well 3 days before she died. Nobody knew what she asked for. But to understand why that matters, and why the locals sealed the well in 1987 and never spoke about it again, you need to know what came before. In this video, we're going to look at the well's 300-year history of granted wishes, the pattern nobody noticed until it was too late, and at the end, the one detail the local records left out that changes everything. Stay with me, because this story gets stranger the deeper it goes. Chapter 2, The Well's Origin, 0:45 to 2:30, sometime in the early 1700s, in a small mountain village in what is now Nagano Prefecture, a well was dug on the edge of a cedar grove. Nothing unusual about that. Villages needed wells. But this one was different from the start. According to local folklore documented by a regional historian in the 1930s, the well was dug directly on top of a collapsed underground shrine, a site locals had used for centuries to leave offerings to a water deity they called the Listening One. The idea was simple: the deity lived below. The well was its ear. When the first villagers lowered written prayers into the well on folded paper, they expected nothing. Village superstition. Something to do. But within a month, 3 of those early wishes, according to the village record book that still exists in a regional archive, appeared to come true. A man wished for rain during a drought. It rained. A widow wished her sick son would survive the winter. He did. And a farmer wished for his missing ox to return. 3 days later, the animal walked out of the forest alone. Word spread. The well became a destination. People came from surrounding villages. And over the next 280 years, right up until the 1980s, villagers kept a record of every wish lowered into the water. Over 300 in total. But here's the part nobody talks about. And I'll come back to this later. The wishes weren't just wishes. Some of them were written in blood. Chapter 3, What the Wishes Said, 2:30 to 4:15, the historian who catalogued the well's records in the 1930s, a man named Tanaka Keizo, spent 4 years interviewing elderly villagers and cross-referencing their accounts. He found something that disturbed him enough to write it in a private diary he never published. Out of every 10 wishes recorded, approximately 7 came true in some form. That alone is unusual enough. But Tanaka noticed a pattern in the remaining 3. The wishes that didn't come true were always wishes made for someone else's harm. Requests for a neighbor's crops to fail. For a rival family's son to fall ill. For someone who wronged the wisher to be punished. Those wishes came back. Tanaka's word for it, written in that unpublished diary, was the Japanese term that roughly translates to return to sender. In every case he could verify, and he found 9, the person who made a harmful wish experienced the very outcome they had wished for their target. One woman wished for her sister's husband to lose his land. She lost hers 2 months later. A man wished for his business rival to go blind. He developed an eye condition within a year. Tanaka's conclusion was careful. Academic. He wrote, "The well does not distinguish between who deserves what. It simply returns what is given." He finished his diary with one sentence that he underlined twice. "Do not make a wish at this well unless you are certain of your own intentions." Nobody listened. And what happened in the decade that followed is even stranger than anything Tanaka recorded. Chapter 4, The 1970s and the Pattern Breaks, 4:15 to 6 o'clock. By the 1970s the village had shrunk. Young people moved to cities. The well became less a spiritual site and more a local curiosity. Tourists came occasionally. Someone had even made a small sign pointing down the forest path toward it. Most people dropped a coin in, like a wishing well. Made a silent wish. Took a photo. Left. But in 1973, something changed in the records. The village elder at the time, an old woman named Haru, had maintained the well's record book for 40 years. She documented every wish deposited, every outcome observed. In October of 1973, Haru wrote 3 words at the top of a new page and then left that page blank. She never explained what those 3 words meant. She died the following spring. If this is the kind of story you want more of, and we haven't even gotten to the woman with the folded paper yet, consider subscribing. Every week, there's something like this waiting. Now. After Haru died, a younger man took over the record-keeping. He was more skeptical, less careful. He noted that by 1975, the nature of the wishes had shifted dramatically. In the early years, people wished for practical things. Rain. Health. Safe travel. The kinds of wishes born from real need. By the mid-1970s, nearly half the recorded wishes were what the record keeper described as desperate. Wishes with a kind of anguish behind them. Wishes for missing people to come home. For debts to disappear. For someone unloved to be loved again. And beginning in 1976, the outcomes column in the record book starts showing a new word that Haru had never used. Unknown. Chapter 5, The Woman and the Final Wish, 6 to 8:30. In November of 1986, a woman came to the well alone. She was not from the village. Nobody knew her name until afterward. A local man who passed her on the path described her as calm. Not frightened. Not crying. Just quiet. She carried a folded piece of paper in both hands, the way you might carry something fragile. She lowered it into the well on a length of red string. The local man said he watched the paper touch the water. Then he kept walking. He said there was something about her expression that made him not want to ask questions. 3 days later, she was found dead in a hotel room in a town 40 minutes away. The official cause of death was cardiac arrest. She was 31 years old and had no prior heart conditions. The police found very little in the room. No note. No identification left deliberately. Just a train ticket, some clothing, and the red string, still wound around her left wrist. The well's record keeper was contacted because her name was found in the village guestbook for the path trail. He went to the well the next morning. He found the red string still hanging down into the well. But the paper was not at the bottom of the water. It was folded carefully on the interior stone rim, as if placed there. Not floating. Not sinking. Placed. He opened it. And this is where everything about this well changes. This is the part the local records leave out. The paper was blank. Nothing written on it. No wish. No words. Completely clean, despite having been in the water. A blank wish. 2 months after that, the village council voted unanimously to seal the well. No explanation was recorded in the public minutes. Just a single notation, closure for safety reasons. But the record keeper, who was still alive as of 2019, when a regional journalist tracked him down, gave one interview. He said the blank paper was not the thing that frightened him. What frightened him was that on the back of the paper, very faintly, in ink that looked old, far older than 3 days, was a single character. He refused to say what the character was. He only said, she did not write it going down. And it was not there when the water returned it. Chapter 6, What the Well Might Actually Be, 8:30 to 10 o'clock. So what do we actually make of a 300-year record of an object that appears to grant wishes, punish harmful intent, and return at least one message that should not exist? The historian Tanaka's framing, the well as a listening entity, fits a pattern seen in Japanese folk belief that predates Buddhism and Shinto both. In animist traditions that shaped early Japanese spirituality, bodies of water, especially still, enclosed water-like wells, were understood as liminal spaces. Boundaries between the living world and whatever sits beneath it. The well is not a machine that processes requests. The folk understanding is more unsettling than that. The well listens. It decides. And what it decides is based entirely on what you carry when you approach it. Not what you write. What you carry. Which might explain the blank paper. If the woman who died carried no specific wish, if she came to the well with nothing left to ask for, what does the well return to a person who has already given everything? Tanaka wrote something else in that diary. Something that only came to light when the diary was finally donated to a university archive in 2003. A footnote, written sideways in the margin of his final entry. I visited the well myself. I made no wish. I carried nothing. And yet when I looked into the water, I saw something looking back. Chapter 7, Conclusion and Close, 10 to 11:45, the well is still there. Or rather, what remains of it is. The concrete seal poured in 1987 is cracked now, not broken, but cracked, and locals say that if you press your ear against it, on certain nights, you can hear water moving below. Moving. In an enclosed well. With no current. The record keeper, in his 2019 interview, was asked one final question. Would he go back? He said, I already have been. Several times. I never bring paper. The journalist asked what he does when he goes. He said, I stand at the edge and I try very hard to want nothing. He paused. Then he added, it's harder than it sounds. There are hundreds of records sitting in a regional archive in Nagano. Most of them have never been fully translated into modern Japanese, let alone English. The 3 words Haru wrote at the top of that final blank page in 1973, the ones she never explained, were only identified in 2021 by a university researcher. They translate, roughly, to, it has learned enough. Make of that what you will. If you want more stories like this, the ones hidden in old archive boxes and regional libraries and the margins of diaries that were never meant to be read, that is exactly what this channel is for. And next week, we're going into something that has no archive. No records. Just the accounts of people who came back from a forest and could not explain why they had walked in circles for 3 hours in a place with a perfectly straight path. No trail markers missing. No explanation. And every one of them said the same thing when they finally found the way out. They said they felt like something had been following just close enough to stay out of sight. That story. Next week.